So, news just broke that we will be getting a Punisher special from Disney Plus, The Punisher One Last Kill. So, to talk about what's coming up and everything you need to know about the show, I got my comic expert Scotty here with me. This is my only film. So, that like button, hit that sub button. Without further ado, let's tell you everything you need to know about The Punisher One Last Kill. So, Scotty, as we know, we've seen the Punisher a lot lately as he will be appearing in Spider-Man Brand New Day. He will not be appearing in Daredevil Season 2, as in Season 1 we left off with him breaking out of the jail and possibly getting revenge on the cops that had put him in there, the ones that idolized him and then turned on him. So, a lot they could do with this special here as we go. I mean, Punisher has grown in popularity, so you have a lot to say about what possibly we can see from him in this series and what possibly we can see down the line that people just may not know about yet. Because we got the Punisher, we have the Hand, a lot of elements here as we built this kind of underground New York world of superheroes. So I will pass it to you. What do you think the Punisher One Last Kill to start there will have in it? And what do you think? What do you expect from Frank Castle in this special?
Honestly, in this special, since it's set before the Spider-Man movie, I think honestly it's going to be they're going to show him breaking out. They're going to show him possibly working with other vigilantes. You saw Swordsman was in one of the jail cells. I'm sure they'll have someone else that was another cell. Maybe he'll break out. Maybe they'll go along because just like what, an hour and a half, right?
I don't know how long it is yet, so I'll check that. But who's Swordsman if people don't know?
Swordsman was the dude. I think he was dating Kate Bishop's mom in the Hawkeye and the Hawkeye show. He was the guy that was dating her that had the sword. He's I forgot his name, Jack Duquesne, something like that. He was a big factor in the books, especially early on. Not so much now, but he's in there, I guess, for speaking out against Fisk. So I can see him getting broken out, finally getting to see him do some stuff with that sword. And Punisher maybe hunting down some of those cops and then maybe revitalizing some of those relationships he had, like with Karen. And I don't see him doing much else. I really don't, because then I think this show would have been better put after the Spider-Man movie and not before.
I think this is going to be maybe more aligned. And I think this kind of lets us know we're kind of done with the Punisher series. Obviously, we had those two things from Netflix. Doesn't seem like they're going to bring it back, just giving him a special to kind of progress his storyline here. Couple of things as we have note here. So Punisher, obviously, I told you, won't be back with this Disney Plus special, but basically stars Frank Castle as he's going in here. Hunting down people. They don't give too much information, so we really don't know. But they say in the Netflix Defender universe that it's circled around some of those heroes maybe showing up in this special, maybe not. But Bernthal, his series has been canceled, so we haven't seen the end of him, but we won't get much more of that. But I'm with you. I think this is mainly him hunting down those cops. I think it's going to be a straightforward action. I think in a 45-minute span of just Frank Castle, you can kind of get away with not having too much character progression and too much story. Give us some cool kills, some brutal scenes, as we know, a little bit of comedy, a little bit of drama, and we're good to go from there. So that's what we come to expect. As far as this character moving forward, maybe past this, you have a couple of things that may happen to him that maybe they should have saved the series for. What are those things that you think that those are? What do you think those are?
Well, as we know, the whole Daredevil Born Again story is set, which is the MCU does this really well. The MCU started off way back in its inception, where the Avengers were first being put together, where we have Thanos for the first time. Old story, right? Then we go straight to new stories like Thor Ragnarok, where they combine Planet Hulk with the Thor story, stuff like that. So this is a very new story. This came out like 2022 or 2023, the Devil's Reign book. So when a Kingpin becomes mayor for New York, outlaws, vigilantes, and superheroes from being there, locks them up, has his whole team of basically ice people, kind of, and has his own thunderbolts that are there with him to further enforce the law. So Punisher during that arc wasn't doing a damn thing. He wasn't doing like the Daredevils were. At this time, it was Daredevil and Elektra were both Daredevil, because Elektra was filling in for Matt when he wasn't around. And of course, all the rest of New York superheroes are there trying to figure out what's going on. And they're trying to eventually, Luke Cage is going to be the mayor, someone that's going to do right by New York. So that whole situation is going on. Really incredible story that they're doing. They're adapting it pretty well. in the series. But Punisher didn't do anything during that series. It's nice they're including him in the show because obviously there's some changes. There's not like 100 superheroes in New York right now. It's like what 5, 6. Punisher right after that series. So the Devil's Reign series after they bring Kingpin down. It's Punisher had his own series, and it's when he's actually working with the Hand. He's actually the warlord of the Hand because the Hand tells him that they can resurrect his wife. And and so you're not doing that story before Spider-Man, because in Spider-Man, he's like, he's driving around, the Hand is in the movie, which is why I think in that movie afterwards, to move Frank Castle forward, he'll be working with the Hand after that movie. So that's why I think they should have saved the series, because in this series, he's just going to be doing,
regular
mill stuff, hunting down people, shooting them in the face. That series afterwards, or that movie afterwards, where he's working with the Hand and he develops powers and abilities, that would make a hell of a special or a hell of a movie, 2.5 hour or 2 hour movie. This special is going to be one of the things where it's more akin to his first 2 series, beating people down that are criminals that break the law in some kind of form or fashion and shooting them.
Yeah, and I think Marvel has done a good job with their kind of one-off specials that they have. I think, to be fair, with some of their series, and this is not counting the Netflix series, which is their own thing, but in a lot of the Marvel series, you kind of get a lot of good parts in those, and they fall off the track in like the middle of the series. I think Wonder Man is one of the only ones that all the way through kind of stayed consistent with its level. Whatever you thought about that series, it was like you didn't think one part was terrible, another part was great. If you thought it was great, it's probably great all the way through. If you thought it was terrible, it's all the way through because it never really had that change. So I think in a special, they're going to do well because they're like, oh, we only got an hour, maybe an hour, 15 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. We can get enough in here to keep the action going and definitely satisfy fans. You were one of the people who has speculated in that ending scene of the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer that Punisher may be one of the people that is jumping to fight the Hand with him, alluding that he may be having some powers or something like that coming along. Now, what do you think is more likely to happen? He's jumping in that series, or he's jumping in Brand New Day because he's acquired some level of power already, or he's not jumping in Brand New Day and he acquires the powers after the Spider-Man movie?
I think he acquires the powers after the Spider-Man movie. Now that I'm really thinking about it, he's probably shooting in that scene. I think Daredevil is going to be the one jumping within that scene, and whoever his third person is going to be, which is probably not going to be a Spider person. So I think the Punisher is going to have his little back and forth with Spider-Man. Daredevil might show up. They might have a couple conversations. Punisher may be captured by the Hand, have a couple conversations with the Hand, and move on. And then maybe the post-credit scene will be, or one of the post-credit scenes rather, will be Punisher being more involved with the Hand. And then we'll push that going forward, which is why I don't think he'll be in Doomsday or in what's called Secret Wars. So I think they're going to push all that forward, which is a good move to me. I mean, give him some spotlight, make him an Avengers level threat, basically, like he was in the book. There was that whole arc was the Avengers coming to stop him.
Yeah, so this just confirmed from Corona Comics. Jean Grey as Sadie Sink will be jumping in that ending scene there in Spider-Man.
No.
Confirmed.
Jean Grey is not in the movie. I do think Sadie Sink's character could be jumping through there, but I don't think it's going to be a Jean Grey. I think it's going to be a mutant of some kind, not Jean Grey. Anyone but Jean Grey.
Okay. Mary Jane.
Dye my hair red. Could be me.
Okay. A couple final questions I want to ask you. Obviously, we hear about this series. Is there any other storylines of the Punisher, new or old, that you would like to see, maybe in a special, or if we eventually get to the point where he gets popular enough in his own series, or maybe short miniseries?
You know what? No, because I feel like, again, the MCU does this thing where they start at the beginning with all the characters, then they kind of like throw you into brand new stories that just came out in the comic books. I don't think there's a Frank Castle book out now. I know after he was a warlord, if they do that series, sure, I'd like to see that series if it ever comes out. Afterwards, I don't think he's Punisher just yet. I think another guy took his place while he was figuring some things out. So no, the only series I think I really would love to see is the Punisher when he's the warlord for the Hand and changes his symbol and whatnot. That would be a hell of a thing to watch if they do it right.
All right, there you go. Well, just a recap for you. Punisher is getting his own special. Punisher One Last Kill won't be in Daredevil season 2, unfortunately. I wish you at least would cameo in there, but he won't be in there. But all else fails, we will see him in this special, and then follow that with Brand New Day and possibly a Hand storyline right after that with him being the warlord for the Hand, which I think would be cool. A lot of stuff coming up. Obviously, Daredevil drops today, so we got a lot going on with that series. If this video comes on before or after that, we'll talk about that. Invincible, don't forget to check that out. That's going on as well, and just a lot of going. We got movies this weekend, so a lot of stuff going on. So hit that like button, hit that sub button down below. Scotty, people can't find us here. Or, well, they found us here on YouTube, but if they want to, or other places want to find us, where can they find us at?
Find some minor league films on all platforms, even email. MLF Shorts on TikTok, Chrono Comics on TikTok, MLF Shorts on Instagram and YouTube. And we will be talking a lot of Daredevil stuff, a lot of Spider-Man stuff, a lot of Invincible stuff coming up. We're probably going to do a video on each Hand member soon coming up.
Yeah, we just had a Sadie Sink video drop of who she may be playing. We also have a full Spider-Man comic breakdown that's going to drop here soon here. So make sure you check that stuff out. Plenty of Spider-Man stuff coming along with the other shows we just talked about. All that good stuff. We'll catch you next time.